Hi, everybody. My name is Emma from the ESB Business School, 𝘗𝘓𝘕𝘓𝑥 University. And I'm here today to talk about, well, both my colleague Pia and myself are here today to talk about our MBA programs at ESB Business School, 𝘗𝘓𝘕𝘓𝑥 University. And I am the coordinator for the MBA full-time program. And I'm joined today by one of our students, Pavan. Would you like to perhaps say a few words about where you are on your trajectory at the moment as an MBA full-time student?
Yes, thank you. Hello, everyone. I am still doing my MBA at the ESB Business School. I have my master thesis, the remaining that I still have to complete and submit. But in the meantime, I have also taken up a full-time role at a tech consulting company as a project manager, and I'm currently working full-time and doing my thesis as well. And yeah, I'm glad and happy to take any questions and any offer a student perspective to what Emma or Pia mentions throughout this webinar. And I will also share my LinkedIn where you can also connect with me later.
Excellent. Thank you, Pavan. So Pavan
Yeah.
is pretty much finished, has a full-time job, but still has to write his thesis. That's where Pavan is. Okay, so some statistics, accreditations and reputation. We are AACSB accredited, probably the most important thing to mention here as an international business school. We're also nationally accredited and program accredited. Currently ranked #1 as a business school, and the rest sort of speaks for itself. I'm not going to go into too much detail. These are things that you can also research. What sets our MBA apart? So internationality is a word that is going to come up quite a lot. Our MBAs, I think now have over 40 years of experience. Obviously, they're not the same as when they started out. They have changed and mutated and adapted according to the needs of our students. Not only international, but practice oriented. We do gain consecutive top positions in university rankings, ranked #1, as I said, highest quality standards. For a relatively small business school, we do have a very strong alumni network, and really engaged and active alumni that are always there to help our students come back, give guest lectures, work on mentoring programs, etc. And all this as part of being a public university business school. So a practical approach, what does this mean in more detail? Practical teaching through project work, theses, research and collaboration with companies. Study abroad is possible in not our MBAs, but in most of our, well, in our MBA part-time peer will tell you it is mandatory to have a study abroad period. We have experienced professors and industry experts from leadership roles in top international companies. And we have over 50 renowned international corporate partners who offer regular guest lectures, top management lectures, excursions, workshops, seminars, and they also come to campus twice a year in the business of recruiting our students and graduates, either for internship positions or full-time positions. And just so you have a visual, these are our current corporate partners. You can see the big names there: L'Oreal, DB, Coca-Cola, Amazon, Aldi, 𝘗𝘢𝘪𝘥, and Pavan actually works for the subsidiary of this company of 𝘗𝘢𝘪𝘥. Can you pronounce it yet, Pavan?
Uh, and actually, Kesha is kind of going more global. They're starting to call it Kasha because everyone around the world just says
Ah,
Kasha.
there we
Yeah.
go. Okay. Okay, great. So, quite an important thing to know where we are located. The arrow speaks for itself right down there at the bottom, southern Germany, about 25, 30 minutes away from Stuttgart and the automotive industry. 10 minutes away from us is Hugo Boss as well. So if you are interested in that area, you know, working in textiles, we had an applicant today who is very interested in moving into that area. So we were proud to say that that is also an industry that Reutlingen boasts. But other than that, the names speak for themselves. It's an optimal business location down in the south of Germany. And if you look at the far left, this is Reutlingen, or what Reutlingen looks very pretty in the spring, in the summer. It also looks pretty in the snow as well, but yeah, snow is not for everybody. This is just a few highlights of Reutlingen, the surrounding area. You've got all of the car museums located around Stuttgart. This is the main street in Reutlingen downtown. What that looks like in spring with the pretty flowering baskets. If you're interested in walking, visiting castles, hiking, you're in the optimal location for that. And also about 20 minutes away is the university town of Tübingen, often called the Disneyland of Germany or Europe in some cases. Yeah, so there's plenty to do and see around the area. The MBA full-time program, just going to run through the key facts. What do you need? Admission requirements. Obviously, you need a bachelor's degree. You need a minimum, and I say a minimum of 2 years professional experience post-bachelor's. You're going to need, for those of you who didn't study your bachelor's or the medium of instruction was not English, you're going to need proof of C1 English, be that IELTS or C1 TOEFL, etc. If your bachelor's degree was not business or finance related, you will also have to provide a GMAT or equivalent. We offer an alternative to GMAT. It's called the BAT test, and it's a lot cheaper and quicker than doing GMAT. But for all of those tests, you need to get a test score of over 30, the 35th percentile. Okay. The application deadline for all of you international students is the 1st of July. If you have a bachelor's degree from Germany, the application deadline is the 1st of August. The program is a 3-semester program, so 18 months. The language of instruction is English. The availability is 25 places, give or take 1 or 2, but we don't really want to go too much over 25. The cost of the program is round about 3,400 euros per semester, and that times 3. That's everything. That's the total for the semester fees and the tuition fees. Okay, you're going to need, I don't want to go into too much detail about this. That was applying for the program, but when it gets to enrollment, you're going to have to verify your bachelor's degree with 𝘱𝘢𝘪𝘳 Konstanz. If you did your bachelor's in India, Vietnam, or China, you're going to have to go through APS. But if this, you know, I can talk you through this once you get to that stage. My advice would be, as soon as you pass the selection interview, you should really be on the case with APS and 𝘱𝘢𝘪𝘳 Konstanz verification. In fact, why not now? The sooner the better. So the breakdown of our MBA full-time, as I said, 3 semesters. The first semester, you're going to run through the core modules, accounting and finance, managing demand and supply. If you have any, real details about the course content, I'm sure Pavan will be happy to help later on.
Yep.
We've got law, we've got all of those fundamentals. So the first semester is bringing everyone from different disciplines, backgrounds, professional experience up to the same level. We've also introduced mandatory German. So you're going to, if you don't have C1 German, you're going to have to take part in German classes on a Monday morning and a Friday afternoon. And that first semester runs from the 1st or the 29th of September to mid-February. Then you have a semester break, and then you're ready to start your elective or specialization subjects. Also, we have introduced a course on business research methods to help all of our students, Pavan, who have to write their thesis, just to give them some tips and advice and a refresher on what are the main things to remember there. The second semester, you'll also be continuing, hopefully in the next level of your German classes. And then once you have finished your specializations subjects, this depends on which subjects you chose, anything from the end of June to mid-July. You can, if you're organized, be ready to jump into your company placement and your company. This is we require you to be at the company for 3 months. You can negotiate longer. You can, if you're lucky, then get it turned into a full-time position and write your thesis with the company. But both of those, your company, so there's an integrated company placement and you have to write a thesis, both of which are 3 months. And each semester is 30 ECTS, which are the European credits. This is just a more detail on the choice of specialization subjects there. So we've introduced a lot of new subjects: sustainability dynamics, data-driven marketing, DEI, which is a really important subject that needs to be looked at and it belongs in every MBA program, in my opinion. Venture capital financing, entrepreneurship, etc. So there's a nice choice there. And if you really work it out nicely, you've got a good selection of electives in the second semester. Okay. The successful application, who should apply? So I find it's quite good to refresh at this point and just say university graduates with a bachelor's degree, at least 2 years professional experience. The range can vary depending on how the interview went or what candidates apply. It's very, it is dependent on who applies. But 2 to 15, 1 year we had a candidate with over 20 years experience. So we're not ruling out anything. Okay, a need or desire to expand your knowledge and experience for your career, and possibly the desire to take on international management responsibility. Some may be more junior in the batch than others, so it does depend. Some may be just wanting to pivot their career rather than, go up on the trajectory that they're already at. There's a lot of flexibility and possibilities there in terms of where you want to take your career. Okay, so if you were interested in our MBA, you would get in touch with me, or you can reach out to any of our alumni or Pavan, for example, via LinkedIn. But if you did have all the documents ready and you went to our homepage, you'd simply click on this link here and fill out the online questionnaire, uploading the relevant documents, which I believe I already talked about. So you'd have to upload your CV, motivation letter, copy of your undergraduate degree, your GMAT if required, verification of 2 years professional experience, very important, and proof of C1 if required. Okay. This is enrollment. This is what I talked about before, where you're going to need your APS if you're from, your degree is from India, Vietnam, or China. But all of you international students applying are going to need verification from Studienkolleg Konstanz. Okay. Just a snapshot of some of our alumni and where they are, where they're working. As you can see, a really international bunch there. Not going to go into too much detail. What they're doing now in terms of function, this really does depend on how they came to us, from what sectors, what backgrounds, and where they want to take their career. So you can see in terms of function from the last, this is just a range, 156 alumni. Marketing and sales and finance and controlling were top functions that our MBA alumni went into. And according to industries, this is because we did have a lot of graduates with manufacturing, engineering degrees and backgrounds.
Yeah,
So,
but I think it's also the location of our university also probably plays a
yeah,
big
good
role.
point.
Yeah, I mean, especially Baden-Württemberg is really famous and has a lot of the, big giant corporations who are in manufacturing since, I don't know, a few centuries. And so they are really, it is kind of heavy on the manufacturing industry side. So, I mean, that's also probably one of the reasons
That's
why.
also a good, yeah, it's a very good reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So how the region looks in terms of
Yeah, I
industries.
mean, they might not be directly in a manufacturing role. It could be like, in a, I don't know, supply chain within the manufacturing company. They could be in the marketing within a manufacturing company. But yeah, I think ultimately it still falls under the manufacturing industry. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And we have to sort of be able to categorize it, I suppose. Yeah, but you're right. Great. A few of our alumni, here's Elliot. He was really fascinated with the German refund, returning your plastic bottles and getting some money back for that. He decided to go off to our Center for Entrepreneurship with his business plan. It took him a while, but he's actually established his own company now called Trash Coin, and he runs that from Berlin and Nigeria. Rania she's stayed local. She is working for Bosch e-bikes, very local to the ESB Business School. And there are my details and there are Pavan's details, and the QR code takes you straight to our homepage. I'm just going to leave that on for a tiny second before I pass over to my colleague. Okay. Looking forward to all your questions.
And just an addition, all of those links and emails are in chat as well, just in case you want to, dear attendees, have them.
Also, I just wanted to ask, do we have do we answer the questions in the end? Like, do we have a dedicated time for that, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So Pia's going to talk about part-time
Yeah.
MBA now, and then the floor is yours, Pavan.
Okay, thank you, Emma. So, hello everybody from my side as well. My name is Pia. I'm the academic program coordinator for the MBA part-time program, where you learn everything about strategic management, sustainable business management, marketing, digitization, and leadership. Some key facts about the part-time program. The program also gives you 90 ECTS. The program is 24 months, and the time for writing the thesis with the current regulation, you can also manage to get the MBA within 24 months in total, including the thesis. When doing the MBA, you spend 30 weekends with us plus 4 block weeks. In contrast to the MBA full-time, the part-time is not an all English, but a German and English program with a ratio of 50-50. We have tuition fees of 14,750 euro plus the semester contribution of 199 euro and the costs for the study abroad. In the first semester, we do the foundation, where you get knowledge on the basics of market-oriented management, accounting, as well as international negotiation skills. We continue with the foundation in semester 2, but semester 2 and 3, as well as semester 4, we go into the specialization. You learn things about development of market and leadership strategies. We dig into the business integrity and law questions. And between semester 2 and 4, you also have your stay abroad. The target group of the MBA part-time is everybody who has a professional or is a professional in a permanent employment with an international outlook, and also at least of having a 2 years professional experience. Here we have an overview on the detailed structure of the program. In semester 1, we have market-oriented management, managerial financial accounting, negotiation across borders, giving you 20 ECTS. In semester 2, economics of firms and markets, business finance, strategic management, and sustainability management. The core modules for semester 3 are leadership, organizational behavior and change, digital business strategies, and digital entrepreneurship. And in semester 4, we have business process management, simulation, and international business law. As we only do have 2 modules in semester 4, it's also possible to write the master thesis in semester 4 within 4 months, but you can also write it in semester 5 for sure. In total, you have to do, in addition, 4 electives, which is 1 during your study abroad stay. And this is what we offer as our elective. You can choose between economic policy, business digitization, supply chain management, for example, advanced law for managers, negotiating and drafting contracts, strategy implementation, and other electives as well. For sure, we cannot offer each elective every semester, as the classes are only 20 students and having approximately 9 electives per semester. This would be a too small class size. So overall, we have around about 4 electives per semester, but during your whole stay in Reutlingen, you can expect to have all those electives available. Since many years, we do have a blended learning system with on-site lectures here in Reutlingen, talking about 8 lectures at weekends and 1 block week per semester. In addition, we have contact seminars, which are online throughout the week, where we do reviews, recaps. You get an individual coaching, or you get an introduction to the topic. As already said, we have compulsory stay abroad. It's not a whole semester, it's a stay between 1 to 4 weeks in one of our partner universities where we have partner programs. We do have partner programs in Canada, Croatia, France, India, Luxembourg, Netherlands, South Africa, South Korea, or, for example, also the US. All our partner universities do have a similar high quality standard as ESB, so 3/4 of our partner universities are either AMBA or AACSB accredited. At a glance, the admission requirements in a nutshell. What do you need to study the MBA part-time program? You need a completed university studies, at least an undergraduate degree, a bachelor's or equivalent from Germany or any foreign university, but the bachelor's of foreign university must be recognized in Germany by the Studienkolleg Konstanz. You need at least a 2 years qualified professional experience after completion of your bachelor's degree. You need a successful aptitude test in the context of an online interview. You need a German and an English language proficiency, talking about German C1 and English B2 level, according to the European Framework of Reference for Languages. For the MBA part-time program, we do have 2 intakes, one in March and one in September, where we have a deadline of submission of all the documents of February 15th or August 15th, respectively. And also with that QR code, you get to our webpage to get additional informations. And now we are open for your questions.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Pia, as well, and Emma, for all the details you have provided. Now we can take some questions. Sorry. Hello, Nino, but I think it's still a question for you. I will not take it. What is the biggest benefit of MBA over normal business administration course, except for the fact that I need to have work experience for MBA? I have checked the name of courses are more or less similar.
Was Pavan
I
go
think,
for it.
yeah, I think I can take this. So, at least from my research and when I was also doing, obviously there are many programs that offer business administration, but I think usually an MBA is kind of a specialized program. It in most business schools it is the program to be at, and ESB is no different. You have the best of professors, you have, but also what is really important from in an MBA is that your cohort or the people around you are coming from different backgrounds. And usually, if you do another business degree, it's mostly people who have an undergraduate degree in the same field, like from another business background. But when you do an MBA, you have people from various backgrounds, and everyone has a different kind of um, like perspective to every problem that we solve. And MBAs also usually have, it's more experiential learning. It's not just what you're taught in class, and it's also about the discussions, or mostly what you do in the form of case studies, etc. In my opinion, that is the difference between any other business degree and an MBA.
Mhm. And I think probably, if I may, the one between, certainly in the German system, between doing a master's and an MBA is the experience. In most of the ESB master's programs, you're not going to get more than 6 months experience, and usually those are internships. So as Pavan said, we're bringing in people to help teach each other in a group environment. So you're learning from each other's experience, and that is why it is so important that we take on board, you know, people who have rich experience and can bring that to the table.
Mhm. Thank you. Now I feel like a talk show host, because I have a follow-up question for that. As
Yeah.
both of you mentioned about the background, I saw in advance that there was a question regarding this, and I read it out now. Without restrictions on previous academic background, how do you make sure the start is equal? And what if I already have background in management?
Without restriction on previous.
Yeah. If you have a I can't see the chat. If you have a background in management, we tried, certainly in MBA full-time. Now, last year we had 26, or currently we've got 26 in the current batch, and probably about 10 of those have come with a business background. And the fortunate thing for them is that they don't have to do a GMAT or equivalent. Pavan will probably say that's not very fair, but yeah. So we do have quite a good, we try to get a good mix. And you are at no disadvantage whatsoever if you come with a business background. But yeah,
Sorry to cut you off. After you.
You go.
No, I think again, this again comes into picture of getting people from different backgrounds, because me as an engineer brings to the table a different perspective from my colleague who did, say, economics or another business degree, for example. And that is, again, I think that is the beauty of an MBA. I can't stress that enough. But also, there are people who wanted to shift within the business realm into a different kind of stream from what they were doing before. And again, that's, it helps a lot to do an MBA as well in that case. Yeah.
How much? More technical question, both of you, Pia and Emma, you mentioned about the entry requirements, but just to once again mention, are the entry requirements identical for both full and part-time courses? No.
No, for the part-time, you don't need a GMAT.
And you need German.
And you need German, correct, yes.
Yes, exactly.
That's it. Yeah. You do not need, in fact, you don't need any German for MBA full-time, but you will need proof of C1 English if your medium of instruction from your bachelor's was not English.
And for the part-time, you need German C1 and English B2.
Yeah. And also, Pia, I think they should be working in Germany.
They need a full-time employment for the MBA part-time, as it is a part-time program where you continue working normally.
So just to check, Pia, they need to be within the DACH region working, or within Germany in a permanent position. How does that work?
Well, let's say it like that. Mostly all of our students do come from the area, as they have to be here on the weekends. So if you have let's say an employer based in the US, and you are based in Germany for your working space, it's no problem. So, but you need an full-time or part-time employment where you are located within the area.
Thank you. Dear Pavan, did you say that you did the full-time program? During the program, did you have a chance to work part-time? I mean, how doable it was given the intensity of the study course?
Okay, this is another part where I envy the current batch and your batch that would be coming next, because mine was a 1 year program, so it was very intense. It was only 2 semesters, but the current batch and subsequent batches are going to have a 3 semester program, so you do have time to do part times. And I mean, there are current students who are doing part-time jobs, and it is definitely doable. Obviously, you would have to also manage your tasks, which is, I mean, I think with professional experience, I'm sure you would be able to do that. But yes, to answer your question, it is possible.
Mm. I think it's again a question for you. Do you write the with company, and if yes, what does it really mean?
Yeah, so it is not mandatory to do it with a company. It is completely dependent on your personal choice. Um, I am personally doing academic thesis because I mean, on an area of interest of mine. But I had my colleagues or cohort members who have done with a company as well. The difference that I would say is with a company, it is kind of research work for them. So it's more or less you are expected to do the research or go into the direction of research that they want, because it ultimately they're paying you to do it, so you have to do it for them, for for their learning as well. And for an academic one, you get to choose what the topic of your interest. And obviously ESB has amazing professors in every kind of stream, so you can discuss with them and see how and yeah, where it goes. But yeah, I think, what does it really mean? I think, yeah, for the thesis with a company, it is kind of fixed. They usually have the thesis positions available with a particular um, like specific,
Disciplines?
yeah, discipline. And yeah, you would have to do it in that phase, regardless of whether you do a academic thesis or a thesis with a company. You would still have to have at least one professor from the university as one of your mentor. And if you do an academic one, yeah, you could have both of them from the university as well. Yep.
Thank you so much. The next question, I don't know, maybe it's also for part-time or full-time, just let me read out. My big points are consumer behavior and branding. Do you have advanced seminars for that? Thank you.
Yeah. So again, I think I can take this because from a student perspective, consumer behavior, yes, it will be covered also. I mean, it has multiple aspects or facades to it. So one is from a marketing perspective, we have uh, a core module in marketing, but also if you want a more advanced level, there's also it is also offered in a as a part-time or uh, elective, sorry,
Yes, yeah,
elective
specialization. Yeah.
specialization. And so that will be covered there. But also we have consumer behavior in terms of, or from the perspective of an international outlook, in the module which covers negotiations across borders, where you also ultimately it is regarding consumer behavior as well. So consumer behavior topics would be covered there as well. So yes, ultimately, and branding again is covered within. There's also it's covered within marketing, but also within strategy creation or execution. And again, there's electives if you really want to dive deeper into that as well.
And if you want to dive deeper in terms of looking at writing your thesis on that area, then you can, search out the professors. This might be a professor that you had in your MBA program, or they might be
Yeah.
able to pass you on to any of their colleagues for that discipline, for that area. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much. And I think today we have an interesting lineup of questions because now we go to kind of smooth conclusion. As the next question is about the how quickly after the application do you announce the selection results? So I guess people are convinced, and now they want to know when will they be informed about the acceptance, hopefully.
Pia, do you want to go first?
Well, for the part-time, you first of all upload your CV and give us all the information we require via our webpage. And once you uploaded your CV, you get an invitation for the online interview. And let's say shortly about that interview, 2 or 3 days later, you get the information whether you passed it. And in general, people passing the aptitude test will get the possibility to start the MBA. So let's say the latest 1 week after your aptitude test, you get the information whether you can start the program or not.
Yeah, and for
Just as a
MBA
follow-up. Okay.
yes. Oh, I was just going to say for the MBA full-time, it's pretty much the same. It's really quick hearing about whether you've been successful in the interview. That's not the difficult bit. The difficult bit, so that's being accepted onto the MBA program. After that, it's enrollment, and you have to upload all your documents. You have to send them by post. You have to make sure you have your verifications of your bachelor's. So this is all the nitty-gritty that's going on behind it. But as soon as you get accepted to the program, that means you were successful in the interview. You can start to apply for your visa for the MBA full-time, because we're talking more about international students and Pavan.
Okay, I think this I want to mention something here. I will guarantee all of you all who are in this webinar that no university will be as quick and also as responsive as ESB. I will give that to you in writing. I can vouch for this because anytime you need any information, any direction towards how you can get, I mean, like Emma was saying, you also not only the acceptance, but after that there is a lot of work that needs to be done from an admin perspective. And anytime you have any questions, the response is very quick, especially for public university. I think that is generally not the case, but ESB is special, and I think the team here is amazing. So yeah, and also I think it's on a rolling basis, if I'm not wrong, right, Emma? So that also helps with the fact that if they are convinced with the candidate, I think then it's
Yeah. So once you've passed the selection interview, that's it. You're into the program.
Yeah.
The rest is, red tape
Yeah.
and getting your visas. Yeah.
Yeah, so you partially even answered my question. You don't wait until the deadline so that you receive all the applications. As soon as you get one, then you start the procedure. That's great. This helps because if it's until July and then August it was, I guess, then it's could be a bit problematic. So wonderful.